Last time actually we were dealing with the end point of osteoarthritis in the last class, because we did not have time enough to start it off so that we can finish it off early. The end point ultimately is arthroplasty. Right? We discussed for about 5 to 10 minutes regarding arthroplasty. That is one of the modalities of treatment for this osteoarthritis. What is osteo? Means bone. Arthritis means inflammation of what? Itis is inflammation, osteo is bone, in between there is something called arthron, that is a joint. So, an inflammation of the joint along with the involvement of the bone which is forming that joint is osteoarthritis, right. So, these pictures are very clear, and this is my picture. Actually you might have assisted this case if you remember. Once you go in, what this is, after opening the knee joint you usually see a lot of cartilage which is glistening white. But once you have opened this joint here, there are islands of glistening yellowish cartilage and lot of bone which is subchondral exposed to the other articular surface, that is tibia. This is femur, this is tibia. When these two rough surfaces are rubbing against each other, when you are trying to move this joint, you have a lot of pain. And you have some sort of inflammation going on, either secondary due to degeneration, or maybe that inflammation might have started the degeneration. There is always a debate between these two. In the earlier days they used to say this is purely degenerative condition. Now it has switched over from the degenerative into inflammatory pathology, similar to rheumatoid arthritis, right. Now let us go into it. Osteoarthritis is primarily a degenerative joint disease occurring primarily in elderly population, characterized by erosion or loss of articular cartilage, right. Secondary reactive bone remodeling with new bone formation called as osteophytosis, subchondral sclerosis, and a range of biochemical morphological alterations occurring in synovial membrane, synovial fluid as well as joint capsule. So, this is involving each and every structure that is forming the joint, right. So, if you see, this is a single largest cause of a problem or a disability which is causing people to absent from their work. Single largest cause of days lost from work is because of osteoarthritis. That much prevalent it is, and about 65% of 60 to 90% of the population, okay, over the age of 65 will have osteoarthritis. So prevalent it is. And now there is one thing which is familial predisposition. Whether it has a familial predisposition or not was the debate going on, whether it is genetically related or else a routine degenerative process. Yes, it has some genetic predisposition too. Polyarticular and nodal osteoarthritis, right, involving the distal interphalangeal joints and proximal interphalangeal joints of the hands, which is more common in women. Polyarticular osteoarthritis affecting the distal joints of hands in women has a strong familial predisposition. That means what? That means, so osteoarthritis, though is a primarily degenerative condition, it has a predisposition in families, a genetic predisposition, and it has been related to gene polymorphisms. It is being understudied. Now it has been extensively studied. In future they will determine the ways to detect, early detection and early management of these osteoarthritis. That is one. Now what are all the tissues involved? Cartilage, synovium, synovial fluid, ligaments, capsule bone, what not. All the structures that are forming the joint are involved in osteoarthritis. What is happening there? If you see, synovium is thickened, capsule is also fibrosed and thickened, cartilage is lost, bone is remodeled, ligaments are lax or stretched, or at some portions they are there is a contracture, right, thickening and contracture of the ligaments, and capsule is fibrosed. Ultimately each and every structure that is forming the joint is being at stake because of this pathology affecting the joint. Now let us go into each and every part of it in detail, into anatomy, physiology, some biochemical aspects, and then how it goes to pathological changes occurring in osteoarthritis. There ends the matter. Now hyaline cartilage is a transparent, the hyalose means glass or transparent, the meaning is this. Hyaline cartilage is one of the most important connective tissue, most important as brain, I should say, for this joint. Hyaline cartilage is the most important connective tissue which you can't afford to lose. Once lost, it's very difficult to get it back, just like cells in the brain. Got it? Why it is important, you will understand once I go through these slides. It is a unique connective tissue with high amount of elastic shock absorbing capability or capacity. You load it, it takes lot of strain before it gets deformed and functionless. So it takes lot of strain before it gets a plastic deformation, hence it is highly elastic and shock absorbing structure which is very much resilient, and it is resistant to wear and tear. That means even if it is rubbing for so long a time, it is resistant to this wear and tear. That means the surface does not get worn out and expose the underlying structures so easily. That is the importance of this structure. Now it is made up of matrix and cells. Anywhere like any other connective tissue, it has a matrix as well as cells in it. The cells are chondrocytes or chondroblasts. The matrix is made up of water, proteoglycans and proteins, right. The most important protein part is collagen type 2. There in bone and tendons it is collagen type 1, here it is collagen type 2. Now the water and proteoglycans, right, the matrix has two parts now, fibers as well as this proteoglycans which are taking the water in. Now it so happens, if at all I have to explain this way, there is a hyaluronic acid base in the center, to which there is a central core protein attached. To this protein there are glycosaminoglycans glycans attached. What are these glycosaminoglycans glycans? This hyaluronic acid is a glycosaminoglycan glycan, as well as this keratan sulfate, dermatan sulfate and this chondroitin sulfate, all of them are glycosaminoglycans glycans. These rods which are seeing are the glycosaminoglycans glycans. Now if you see here, this is the protein, this is a huge hyaluronic acid strand, right, and now this is a protein, and to this protein, core protein, you have this chondroitin sulfate attached. Now these chondroitin sulfate, as they end up in attaching and forming a structure of this sort, the ends of these chondroitin sulfate or the chondroitin 1 sulfate attached at this portion repels the chondroitin sulfate attached at this portion. This repelling, right, causes them to make a matrix, and they hold water within these structures. The more the bifurcations, more and more these hyaluronic acid strands as well as these proteins as well as this chondroitin sulfate, the matrix is more bigger, more stronger, more denser, and hence that resilience power which comes because of imbibing water into this as a shock absorbing capability of a hyaline cartilage increases. This happens when the cartilage is young and active and it is good. Once it ages off, what happens? These hyaluronic acid strands, they break up. Okay, the hyaluronic acid which is so big strand which is there, it breaks up and becomes smaller, and the chondroitin sulfate strands also, they become smaller. Once they become smaller, the repelling forces are less, and hence what happens? The amount of the strength whatever this structure is getting because of its arrangement of these chondroitin sulfate strands repelling each other and holding water inside is reduced. Once this is reduced, it is now prone to have a wear and strain, wear and tear that is more than the normal one, and it is more prone to break up, become into pieces, and then come off like loose bodies or flakes. So this happens once there is degeneration in the cartilage. Now I told you these cells, these are chondroblasts initially, which having created this matrix, actually chondrocytes, chondroblasts secrete the matrix, and then once they secrete the matrix, they lie inside. The same as it happens in the bone, it happens in the articular cartilage also. So what you see ultimately are the chondrocytes, right? They are arranged, I will show you the picture, in a definitive pattern from topmost layer which is articulating with the other side to the base which is now having an attachment to the bone, right. Now these chondrocytes, they secrete this matrix. What do they secrete? They secrete the proteoglycans as well as collagen type 2, and they make this cartilage. Actually chondrocytes produce this cartilage, right, that is one. Now they also degrade. Once you have a stimulus which is a growth stimulus happening as you grow, as you become older and older till 30-40 years of age from your 0 date of birth, now this cartilage keeps on piling up and growing. But once you attain that adolescence age group, once it has matured itself, now it stays there as a plateau for some time and starts degrading over a period of time. Just as you lose the bone, you lose the cartilage too. So how does this happen? This happens all because of chondrocytes. They have a capability to form as well as degenerate as well as resorb or degrade the already formed matrix. So the degradation is by pro-inflammatory cytokines and those degradative enzymes which are there in their proenzymic form, they get activated within these chondrocytes. Once they are activated, the degenerative process starts. So what activates this is always a debate. If you can stop those things, the cartilage will be there like that. So most often they have found out that interleukin 1, tumor necrosis factor, all pro-inflammatory cytokines, they are strong activators of degradative enzymes which are there in the chondrocytes. So the function of the cartilage is directly proportional to the integrity.